As far back as my memory can go into my childhood of noticing how cool these toys were, I would say that's where it started, really. And that's where I got the desire to make them. And here I am making them today. I've been collecting Japanese toys since I was 12 years old. And probably even before that, you know, I had Billy Blastoff, which was licensed here by Eldon, but it originally was a Japanese produced toy. The design really appealed to me. There was something kind of alien about it to me. And then it was probably in the 70s, I had some neighbors that went on a trip to Hawaii and they brought me back a vinyl figure. And I'd never seen anything like it. We'd always wanted Godzilla toys, but we didn't have any in the States. We played with plastic dinosaurs and stuff like that, but this was an actual Japanese monster toy. And I had no idea what it was from. It's from Ultra 7, the Hawaiian version, because the show was shown in Hawaii. After that, I took this to a Japanese neighbor's house and asked them, "What is this?" And they read the foot and they said Pagasa, and they said TV shows are on UHF Sunday nights. So me and my dad sat in front of the little TV and put tin foil all over the antenna and got a good signal, and we were introduced to the crazy world of tokusatsu shows and cartoons, and it was nuts. And during the commercials, they had an ad for a toy store in downtown LA. So I asked my dad, he goes, "Yep, but you gotta be good and save your money and do chores." So I did. And one weekend they took me to that store and I lost my mind. It was wall to wall, Microman, Bullmark, die cast. My head was spinning. I didn't even know what to get. So from then on, every chance we got, I would save up my money and be good, and my parents would take me to that toy store. And Little Tokyo changed a lot. That store closed, and then I found another one. And then after that, into the 80s, a lot of the vinyl, cheesy, weird sculpt type toys were gone. And I kept going there and collected beyond that. And it wasn't until companies like M1 and Billiken started redoing vinyl toys. And Billiken was more like model kits, which I kind of enjoyed. But M1 was doing like the vintage style toys of characters that were never made. So I got really interested. I had a friend who had a connection with them, and he would get me toys by them. And eventually I got to meet them, and I got to meet Yuji, Nishimura, and Michi, and I'm still friends with them today. As a child, you know, the toys were cheaper and there wasn't a collector's market like there is today. Early days of eBay, before everyone knew what things were, I would say, I got a lot of good collecting done at the time. And eventually I got to the point where I just wanted vintage stuff I couldn't find. And, you know, I aligned myself with certain lines, especially the play model kits, the early mechanized kits. Specific strange toys, there's some real untouchable stuff out there, but like characters like Mach Baron and Zaboga, to me those very much represent Japanese toy to me, and I managed to collect a lot of Mach Baron and Zaboga. But through COVID, a lot of stuff showed up. I got into Condor Man and a Rabbit Panda car, and these were kind of obscure lines that I don't think a lot of people really cared about. So it made it kind of easy. Plus, I like the aesthetic. You know, there'll be a talker, there'll be a missile firing one, all kinds of weird little novelty type ones, puzzles. When you find a good line of a character that has a good collecting lineage and it's available and the prices are really good, I think that makes collecting really funner. For a while, I'd say back in the 90s, I was actually trying to create a toy store type feeling, type vibe where you walk in and, like my first experience, you see all these different things and you get an idea of all the different lines and all the styles of toys, the die casts, the vinyls, oddballs, the cheap little candy toys. I love all that. The model kits with the cool box art. It's a very wide range and a wide world of stuff. It wavers within that realm, model kits to candy toys, like everything in between. And it can be a little hard and a little frustrating. But if you take your time and you have years to do it, it's worth the satisfaction once you find what you're looking for. You know, everything has its aesthetic. With plastic model kits, I have to say it's mostly the box. I'm really into the box art, and the graphics are some of my favorite things about these toys. You know, it could be a sculpt of a vinyl toy, which I really like, doll-ish, or, you know, if it's not too complicated. And die cast, I would say definitely the color, definitely, you know, shoots a missile or two. I'd say I'd pretty much gotten to that point that I wanted to be at, of the toy store, the little drugstore that has the toy section, and you just walk in and you're like, wow, look at that, look at that, look at that, and they might have one thing of that and one thing of that, and it's all about variety. I like the variety because it's a bottomless pit, the Japanese toy collecting world. There's a lot of stuff, and there's always stuff popping up that you've never seen before, and if you can add it for a reasonable price and have it sitting in the corner of your case, and you know it's there, and if anyone happens to come over and see it and they notice it, that makes you feel good. But you got it. You know where it is. I like things kind of jumbled together. You know, I've got Condor Man stuff here, I've got it in the front room. I like stuff kind of spread around. It gives more variety. I like cut and paste, and I like things next to other things that don't look like they belong together, because to me it brings them out, and I forget that they're there, and if I'm looking at one thing, I'll look to the right of another thing that has nothing to do with it and go, oh, that's where that is. But I like stuff mixed up, really kind of confusing. My significant other, she's a collector too. She has a history in toys. Her mom sold toys at swap meets and stuff, and she's got an incredible knowledge of American girls' toys. I have an uncle, he collects trains. My father, he's a scale model builder. So it's just a part of my culture that we do this. It's kind of traditional. I have a lot of friends that don't have any idea. They just think it's a bunch of crazy stuff. And I'm like, yep, it is. Overall, people get it, but I'm very much older than a lot of my friends, and they have no idea about this kind of thing. If they're interested enough, I'll tell them, but if they don't care, I don't take it personally. That's just how things go. You can't all be into the same thing. If we were, then everything would be gone or sold, or I wouldn't have what I have. I have not really been sharing my collection very much, and looking at it, you know, as of yesterday, I was like, yeah, this stuff needs to be shared. I have another Instagram, PK_Toyland. Now that I have a little more access to my stuff after cleaning up my toy room, I will be sharing a lot more of my collection. I'm extremely happy with my collection. I completed my Nito yokai. I have all 5. It took years to do. Collecting Japanese toys very much inspired me to the point that I wanted to make them. The aesthetic, I like all the different forms, but as far as production and sculpting and all that, that's a story for another time. But overall, I've got a nice base of things and I can't complain. And I love looking at it, and I love touching it, and I hate dusting it.